What up, YouTube? It's your boy B. Just woke up from a nap in here watching this NFL playoffs game. Saw the Seahawks get their asses kicked earlier, and I fell asleep on the game. Then I woke up and saw that they damn near came back and beat the Panthers. I was like, okay, well, but anyway, I was in here watching this Steelers and the Broncos game too for a little bit, and then came inside. I want to make a video right quick. Uh, Anyway, just want to talk about the Hateful Eight movie and give my thoughts on the Hateful Eight. That was a really good movie. Quentin Tarantino has been one of my favorite directors for a while, and he really did it good this time. Because the thing about Quentin Tarantino movies is they're really good because when you watch them and you leave the theater or wherever you watch them at, they stick with you for a long time. I mean, they don't. It's not just you go to a movie and you watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, then it's like, okay, well, all right, like with some movies, they really stick with you because the dialogue is in his movies is just so rich, and he have a lot of memorable lines in his movies, especially when Samuel L. Jackson is in his movies. Like he has a lot of memorable lines and quotable stuff in his movies that's really good. But for this particular movie, Hateful Eight, I wouldn't say it's his best movie, but it really is a good movie. I recommend it that you go see it. I know a lot of people were saying about his a lot of racism in Quentin Tarantino movies and everything like that. But I'll get on that in a minute. But let me talk about this Hateful Eight movie in particular. It's kind of a long movie. It's about almost 3 hours long, and so, but it don't seem like 3 hours long because it's just so entertaining. Kind of like The Wolf of Wall Street was over 3 hours, but it didn't even seem like that because it was just so entertaining. But anyway, the movie was about Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins. Anybody who watched The Shield will know him as Shane, and and Channing Tatum was in the movie. And the movie was about these Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell. They were bounty hunters trying to take Jennifer Jason Leigh to this town called Red Rock to get hung, and she was chained to his arm the whole time, and everything like that. And then when they converge on this cabin to this kind of way station or whatnot before they get to this town to get away from this blizzard because it was real cold outside. And once they get into this cabin, it's 8 characters in there. It's like Tim Roth and a whole bunch of other people in this cabin. And it kind of gives you the movie is really good because it kind of gives you a sense of classic whodunit type of movie. It really harkens back to, I mean, and has anybody ever played Clue when, it's like you have you have all these people in one place, and then it's kind of like who did it and why and who did this, and everybody's here and everybody could be a suspect. It harkens back to that kind of feel. A movie I would really compare it to is if you ever seen that movie The Thing, how they were all trapped in this snow and cold, and they were trying to figure out who the alien was. Anybody could have been that's how this movie really is on the Hateful Eight. And it's really good, but let me talk about what they say, probably like the racism in the movie. Quentin Tarantino using the N-word in his dialogue, saying nigga in his dialogue the whole time. That didn't really bother me like it did in Django. Like Django was a really good movie, but they had a whole lot of nigger word in it and stuff like that, and they was claiming that it was because of the times or whatever, but I don't think it could have used nigger as so much as it did. But the thing about the Hateful Eight is they had that in this movie, but it was kind of like a equal opportunity racism in this movie. They were always saying that Like, as much as Samuel L. Jackson got racism towards him, like the characters like that nigger is doing this, you gonna ride with this nigger, and all this stuff, this black bastard. Samuel L. Jackson was giving it right back to him in this movie. He was, fuck you, cracker, and you white boy. He was giving it all right back to him, and even Mexicans got a little bit in this movie. I remember there was this one scene where Samuel L. Jackson was talking to one of the Mexican characters in the movie, and inside of this little cabin or the store that they was in, it was owned by a black woman. And the Mexican dude was trying to say that the lady left and left him in charge of the store, and Samuel L. Jackson called him out on his bullshit because he was like, so he asked the Mexican dude like, oh, how long you been working here? And he said, I've been working here 4 months. Then Samuel L. Jackson said, well, if you've been working here for 4 months, then you would know that Minnie always kept the sign over there on the bar. You want to know what that sign says? He said what? It said, no Mexicans and no dogs allowed. And then she said, and you want to know why she took the sign down? And then the Mexican dude said, why? He said, because she started letting in dogs. So if you try to tell me that she couldn't stand no Mexicans, so when you trying to tell me that she left you in charge of a place, a fucking Mexican, I'm gonna call you a liar. It was you got to see it up there. To put it in the proper context, but the movie was really good, and I know why Quentin Tarantino he did that in this movie, because to put all the racial stuff in this movie, like by calling Samuel L. Jackson a nigger, all that stuff. What he does is, when you're watching a movie, it's an unspoken thing of when you watch a movie, especially the white folks, the audience, is when you see this black dude amongst all these white people, and then you're like, okay, he's black, and stuff like that. It kind of relieves that tension of, it puts it all out in the open. It's telling you, okay, Samuel L. Jackson is black. All the characters know he's black. Okay, we putting it out in the open. We racist or not. So let's just watch the movie. It puts it all out in the open, out there from the very beginning, so it draws you into the story rather than you sitting with this unspoken uncomfortableness of it being a black dude doing all this stuff to these white characters. So I can understand why he did that. But overall, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. And that's it. And that's all I got to say about that movie. Then I kind of want to touch on a little bit too about this whole Oscars, black people getting snubbed at the Oscars thing too. Look here. That's what I got to say about this. Excuse me. I don't see why we still expecting the Oscars, Academy Awards to give black people props and everything. Like every time the Oscars don't give black people an award, black people start to kicking and screaming and crying and saying this and that. Why y'all surprised? The Oscars were never meant for black people. Were never meant for black people. If you want awards, why can't black people just start? We have Essence Awards, we have BT Awards, we got Soul Train Awards, all this stuff. Why can't we focus on that, and start giving our own people recognitions and awards and, everything like that, instead of always crying and looking at what these people over here are doing. I know what the problem is. A problem is black people have this deep-seated, I don't know if it's still from slavery or what, but we have this deep-seated childlike need to be accepted by the massa, so to speak, or it be accepted by white people. Like, no matter what we have, it's not good unless white people are validating it. And we need to get off of that. Because if we had our own stuff, we had our own award shows that we put money into, that we had on TV, and all that stuff, it wouldn't even matter what white folks are doing with their award shows. I mean, you don't see the Mexicans have their own Latino Academy Awards and Latino Grammys. They over there, they don't care. In Bollywood, the movie industry in India, they got their own Indian Academy Awards. They're not worried about what Oscars and stuff are doing. Black people are the only ones crying about that stuff. We need to get out of that. And besides, if won't that cheapen the award if you have to make these people, guilt these people into giving us awards for every performance or every thing that we feel like is good. Okay, for like it's gonna cheapen the award if they just doing it just because just don't make the black people angry. Okay, so just give them a nomination. Would you still even want it at that point? Because you're not giving it to the best, you're just giving it to, it's almost like a retarded child almost. Okay, you give this the best player an award, and then you're saying, I didn't get anything, and then you just give him something just to shut him up. I mean, it's the same thing, really. Would you really want awards like that? And besides, and another thing about black movies and stuff, black movies, I mean, we're just not versatile enough when it comes to making black movies or black films or Oscar-worthy stuff. The only time this is the only movies that black people come out with. If it's only civil rights stuff, some kind of fucked up relationship type shit, or it's some kind of ghetto hood shit. That's the only three type of movies that black people come out with, or TV shows black people come out with. Where's the diversity when it comes to black filmmaking these days? I don't get it. Like, where is the Matrix, type movie, science fiction type movie that's written and directed by black folks? Where's even like a comedy like The Big Lebowski, something like that written by black folks? Where's like a thriller type of movie, kind of like Seven or something like that, written and directed by black people? We don't make versatile. Hell, we don't even make stuff like Lord of the Rings or stuff like that. That's not written by black people. It's I don't know if black filmmakers don't do that, don't know how to write stuff like that, or it's kind of like they just don't try. But we need to get out. We need to come out with more Oscar-worthy stories. We need to come out with more diverse stories, and then maybe Oscars and stuff like that will, start taking more, consideration to black movies. But until then, why does it matter? I mean, long as a lot of these films are making money, and it shouldn't make a difference, really. But of course, that's too much to ask. Of course, every year the Oscars gonna come around, or Grammys or Emmy Awards gonna come around, and then they gonna start kicking and screaming every time a black person don't get an award. But I guess it's okay. And that's probably gonna always change. But I'd like to see that different. But I'd like to see more. What I'd like to see more is black people doing stuff like I just mentioned, coming out with more diverse types of movies made by blacks. And that's pretty much it. That's my video for today. All right. Rate, comment, subscribe, whatever. I'm finna go back in here, watch the rest of this football game. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.